Hello guys, my name is Art. I'm here to do another video. Sometimes I try to upload a video at least once a week, but sometimes either things get in the way or sometimes I just don't have anything to say. And if I don't have anything to say, I usually don't do anything. But I had a thought recently of what to talk about. And some of the things I wanted to talk about, some of it is kind of good to talk about. And the thing is that there's so much about this there was so much I want to say, but I didn't know exactly how I should go about doing that. I was thinking maybe, what if I just went full blast and just tell you everything, or should I break it up into two parts? But I tell you what, I'll see. Well, let's find out. Okay, this right here, um, first things first, in September, at the end of September of this year, I'll be probation free for 2 years. So that means I got on probation in 2014 to 16, and now it's like 2018, and I'm free. So the question is what my life is like after having a DUI. Now, what happens is, before I go into that, let's talk about during the DUI process. Okay? First things first, I don't make money from this. I'm not going to ask you for money. The only thing I'm going to ask you to is spend some time, listen to me talk. I'll tell you the truth as much as I possibly can. There's no reason for me to lie. So let me get it started. DUIs are what I call nature's way or life's way of saying fate. Now, what do I mean by that? Fate is the idea that something is going to happen to you regardless. Okay? Let's say, for example, let's say you 5 or 6 years ago, somebody came to you and said, guess what? In this year, in 2014, you can get pulled over for a DUI. Or let's say, for example, me now is able to go back in time and go to myself in 2014 and say, hey, dude, you're going to get a DUI if you don't stop. Would I listen? The answer is no. Why? Because it's called fate. If I'm doomed to get a DUI, I will get a DUI. That's simple. Of course, during the time you don't think that way, but that's the way how it is. During the DUI process, of course, you drink for whatever reason, you get pulled over. You usually spend a night in jail or a couple nights in jail. Sometimes they might release you on your own recognizance. Sometimes you might have to get bailed out. Who knows? If it's your first DUI, they're somewhat lenient. Your second DUI, they're more difficult. And third one is big trouble. There are some people who have 4 and 5 DUIs. More. Okay? With these new laws. It's going to be scary. Why? Because it's going to be scary, and you will get depressed a little. And the reason why you'll get depressed is because of the fact that, one, you're underneath the court's thumb, and they will be screwing you as much as they can. I'm not saying this to frighten people. This is just a sad reality that I had to go through, and it's a sad reality of another person I know had to go through, and actually, and another person I know is going through this right now, and their stuff is much worse because they live in a different country. So, like, say for example, for me, who live in Michigan, what I went through was pretty tough. This person I know lives in Canada, and from what I was told from them, oh, woo, to them, what happened to them is like my third or fourth time. Third or fourth time getting a DUI here if you ever get that far. But and another person I know is going through one, and they're going through some problems right now. And what I mean by problems is that fact that you have to report to the courts, you have probation, you got someone dictating your livelihood, dictating whether or not you're going to have an easy time or a tough time with this. And the problem is that that's just part of life. Scam. I get these almost every day. Sorry, every day. It's annoying. So what happens is you can go through probation, random drug and alcohol testing. They might have you go through counseling. They might have you go to substance abuse counseling, and then they might have you go to AA. The thing is that what I did, I resisted the thought of everything. Why? Because guess what? I can do this without anybody's help. I can stay sober for 2 years without anybody's help. Okay? And that's true. And it's true. A lot of people can't stay sober because they're not alcoholic. It's just that you drank and you did something stupid, got behind the wheel. But the idea, what I'm trying to get at is, one, even if you're going through this stuff, there's still a light at the end of the tunnel. The problem is that you haven't got to that point yet. Now, say for example, I had a random drug and alcohol testing 3 times a month. And what happens is that the court's policy is that after every holiday, the day after every holiday, you have to test regardless. So here's the thing. So say for example, like me, like Memorial Day just happened. A couple days ago was Memorial Day here. That Tuesday, I would have to test. Even if I tested that Sunday, I did test again that Tuesday. Now, some people say, well, you can still drink. Well, you can. Tell you the truth, if you want to drink during probation, you can do that. No one's stopping you. But then again, that will be kind of foolish on your part. Because the way, if you did the kind of drug test that they give you, when I call it drug test, it's also a test for alcohol. I just call it, simplify and say drug test. They use your urine, and what happens is that alcohol, the immediate effects on your alcohol stays in your system for like a day at most, hours to a day at most, but the residual effects stays in your system for 5 days. So one person came to me and said, dude, you can still drink just the day after the day of your test. That's when you drink that day. And I said, well, what if they test you at the end of the week? Then you go like, oh, I didn't think about that. Or next week, you don't know when you're going to have to test. You don't know. So why risk it? And tell you the truth, if you don't believe me, when you go to probation, if you have to see him, if there's and the judge is right near there, just have a seat and watch his verdicts. And when he talks about people who got in drunk driving offenses, who violates and all this other stuff, see what their reactions are. And the question is, then it kind of reaffirms whether or not you want to go through that or not. Because the thing is, you violate probation, either you have to pay more money, or you be on probation longer, or even both. The question is, it's long enough. Why risk it? But that's your call. Can't say yes, can't say no. Okay? But that's the way how I'm going to tell you. Just, to me, just don't do it. Just don't do it. Yeah, sometimes some of these therapists and stuff, they know what they're talking about. The problem is sometimes if you can't mesh with them on a personal level, it's not going to work. But tell you the truth, mine was pretty cool. My substance abuse advisor was pretty cool. I still see him because he also helps with my depression. So that it was like a double whammy. So that was good. So in my opinion, if you're going through depression, like how I do, trying to find a place that handles both. And if the person handles both, keep That way you don't have to go to two different places. You don't have to go to two different places because you just go to visit one. It talks about the other. Perfect. But one of the things you look up, go if you say, for example, they tell you to go to A, just go. Whether or not you believe in what they're saying or not, you got to get the paper signed and go. Now the thing about AA, they don't have to sign your paper. Just think about it. They don't have to sign your paper. One of the traditions is it's called anonymity, which means they don't tell who goes to AA. But the thing is, if the court forces them to do it, they're breaking their traditions. But the thing is, without the court sending you to them, they don't grow. So take a look at that. But it's gonna be tough. And believe me, some people who has 1 year, oh my God, it's a year. And the thing is, the year go by fast. Imagine 2 years on probation. My first couple months, I was like, oh, this sucks. This sucks. I lost my ability to drive because I lost my license for a month. Then my car broke down, so I couldn't even get it fixed until after I was able to get my license. But then again, and that license was like a restricted driving for 6 months, so which means that I could basically go from work and back, work and home, anywhere in between work and home. So which means that outside of that, you're risking it. So what happened for me to drive to like get to the mechanic to get my car fixed? If I got pulled over, they could have said you violate. They could. But then again, I was like, how else I want to get my car fixed? Or sometimes it's like, well, sometimes I had to drive off hours so I can wash my clothes or buy groceries or something like that. So I mean, I never got pulled over, so that was good. But then again, also, let me rephrase that. I didn't get pulled over for drunk driving during my probation, but I was a target. I got pulled over a lot of times. A lot of it was for like mechanical problems, my turn signal. And then what happens when they run your stuff and say, "Oh, you're a drunk driver"? Then they start asking you questions, try to trip you up to see if you're drunk. Now imagine working like 10, almost 9 to 10 hours a day. You're tired and you want to go home and you can't even think because you're too damn tired. And they're asking you 1,000,001 questions until they see the breathalyzer that you're not drinking. Then everything's cool. And they're gonna, and to tell you the truth, you're gonna get screwed around. You're gonna get screwed around that way. The courts will try to screw you around. Why? Because they're making money off of you. They're making money off of you. As long as they can keep you on probation, they're going to make money off you. So the faster you can get off of that, the better. Okay? Why put out more money than you really need to? For example, I violated twice because I forgot to show up. Not because I drunk drive or anything, not because I drank or anything. I forgot to show up because either one, I totally forgot. One time I totally forgot. The second time I totally forgot. The first time, I couldn't get off of work in time. And by the time I got there, because of the traffic jam, there was a traffic jam right near the court. So by the time I would have got there, I got there 5 minutes too late. So right then and there, I violated. Luckily, they knew about the traffic jam and I was stuck in the traffic. And so what happens, they try to say, well, prove it. Luckily in traffic, I took my camera, took pictures around to where near the courthouse, and I posted it on Facebook, and it tells you the time you posted it, what time, what area you posted in. So that way I said, okay, well, here's this. I was like, here's the proof right here on Facebook that I was stuck in a traffic jam. And then what happens, they had to, oh yeah, okay, reinstate me, but I had to pay extra fines. So like I said, if that's what you want to do, great. If you don't want to do that, then don't. Okay? After everything's said and done and the smoke is clear, and once you get in going through all this, it seems like a breath of fresh air, like a weight's been lifted off your shoulder. And then after a while, you get so used to being in that situation of being on probation, it becomes second nature to you. Every morning, I wake up 5 o'clock, call. Do I got a test? Yes. Okay. I got a test. That means I have an hour before I get to work. I got an hour to try to test and get it done. Then I can go to work. Or I got to rush after work to get tested. So, I mean, it becomes second nature. Get money. Get this. Also, if you have to do drugs, you can't drink. They say don't drink water because it dilutes it. So what I do, they say you drink pop. Sometimes drinking pop before you go will make you go and it won't dilute it. Or sometimes coffee for me. Every time I had to do it in the morning, I went and get some coffee. I went and got coffee, drank some coffee, and I also had some Gatorade. After I had the coffee, if I still didn't feel the urge to go, then I'll drink some Gatorade, and usually that will go. I had no problems. I never drank water because I knew for a fact that it's going to say, a lot of times they say it's too clear. And when they say it's too clear, they can't use a sample. And plus, when like for me, I'm a man, you holding it, technically you're holding your junk, and some dude is looking at you like, so I mean, it's not like, and sometimes guys will get performance anxiety to pee. That's how I got to sometimes. I'm like, come on, man, quit looking at me. But they gotta look at you to make sure you're not trying to pull some fast one. For ladies, I don't know exactly how that works, but I do know that in the prior videos about the stupid woman that I blocked and avoiding, she was, because of her stupid situation, because she was stupid enough to show the court drunk, they put her on drug and alcohol testing, and what happened, she used to buy fake pee and try to squirt it up in her, and I'm like, fucking stupid. What? But some people will go through that lengths to do that, and of course, if you're like me, if you're diabetic, sometimes when you have to go, you got to go. So imagine, and they know that you gotta pee, everybody gotta pee, and they're taking their sweet ass time calling people. So you're like, then when you finally let it go, you're like, oh my god. Problem is that you gotta try to make sure you can produce enough of a sample. Otherwise, they say you failed, and boom. I'm like, sheesh. What next? That's some stuff. Breathalyzer. Make sure you don't brush your teeth before, unless it's gonna be like a half an hour. Don't brush your teeth and go there unless it's like half an hour plus. So like in the morning, I'll brush my teeth, have some coffee. Alcohol is in the toothpaste and the mouthwash. Gone. Otherwise, they think you're even though they know you brushed your teeth, because it failed, they have to go by the results. So, and after you go through all of that nonsense, boom, survive another day. And to tell you the truth, it's gonna be a new grind, especially if you have to work too. And if you have to work, and if you work, you got to work, get stressed out, and a lot of times you wanted that beer because you're stressed out, and you can't have it. But end result is, this things like this happen. It has to be done. So what the question is, what you're gonna do? You have to survive it. Wow. This is part one. Part two, I'll probably do it in a couple hours or maybe in a couple minutes. I'm kind of hungry. I don't know. But then again, dinner's so usually in about another 3 hours, 3 to 4 hours, and I'm like, yeah, get something light maybe. I don't know. But this is the first part of the video, which I'll call DUI hell. Like I said, this is not to scare you or anything like that. It's just to tell you what you might come across. The idea that I tell you It's do the right thing, and it's a lot smoother. Oh, by the way, when things are smooth, you're in and out of probation office. You're in and out of the probation office like that. You probably spend more time. Also, pay your bill. Make sure you pay your bill. What happens? I go talk to them, then I pay the bill. And what happens? They see you doing all that, they don't bother you. Lots of people some people looked at me and was like, how in the world is that? They talk to me for 10, 20 minutes. They talk to you for 2 to 5 minutes, and boom, you're out of there. So one, I don't drink. I'm not taking drugs. I pay the bill. I go to AA. I make a do or die somehow. Go to AA or to counseling with no problems. And that's what I do. Is it tough? Yes. But the thing is, you do that, the chances of you having problems in the long run is a lot slimmer. Okay. Well, this is the first part, which I call DUI hell, and the second part is going to be called life after DUI, or DUI afterlife, or I haven't figured out how I'm going to title it yet, but it's going to be coming soon. Okay. So right now, have a have a seat, and I'll see you soon. Not have a seat. Have a good life. Just make sure you do the right thing and treat people like how you want to be treated. And I'll see you soon.